Hello, welcome back to Med Perfume. I'm Emily, and I am going to cover what I'm wearing this fall. And I know it's a little late in the season. Right now it's like early November, but I'm in Los Angeles and it's been pretty warm until like this past week, so I haven't been getting out of the summer fragrances until very recently. But I'll probably wear these, for the next couple months until it gets really cold, and then switch to kind of the fragrances that I reserve for the very cold weather, so those will get used up too. But yeah, let me start with what I'm wearing this season mostly. Obviously I've got a huge collection now, so I will, kind of bounce around depending on what mood I'm in, but a lot of the time I will be reaching for these fragrances. And I'll start with this Pacifica Sage Me. This is a great vegan brand out of Oregon, and this is a really lovely kind of like fresh air sage scent. It says sage and smoke, but I don't get as much of the smoke. It just really does smell like you're like driving in the mountains with the windows down, like smelling the mountain air. It's really lovely. It's also kind of poor longevity though, so it's not a commitment. You spray it on and then a couple hours later put something else on or reapply, depending on what you want. It's not expensive. I think these bottles are about 22 bucks on their website, so yeah, you can afford to put it on every couple hours if you want to. Yeah, so Pacifica's Sage Me is one that I will be reaching for periodically. Another one is a kind of a new old classic, which is the Mitsuoko, and I've pulled up the EDT, and generally during the day I'll probably throw on the EDT. It's got really good longevity, so I only need a spray or two, and then if I'm still in the mood for the Mitsuoko at night, I will throw on the EDP because it's a little bit heavier, a little bit stronger, not a lot. It's a little bit warmer. I think this one is a little more bergamot forward, and the EDP is a little more amber forward. So I'll switch up between the EDT and the EDP day to night. But yeah, this is just a really lovely kind of complex fragrance. It's sort of unisex. It's got a peach note. It's prominent, and it's just a very classic 100-plus-year-old fragrance. Still works well, and it's great for the fall season, so I'll be reaching for that. Another one is gaining more popularity, I think, lately, which is another Guerlain, and that's the Insolence. I got this summer as well as the Mitsuoko, and I've been excited for the weather to cool down a bit so I can enjoy this a bit more, because it is it's probably fine with a light application for the warmer weather, but I think in the fall this is a really nice go-to with the kind of the heaviness of the fragrance. And it's a really purple flower and raspberry forward, slightly powdery, but more like the purple flowers and the raspberry just come through. It's very interesting, kind of unique, classy, not super feminine, I guess. I mean, I kind of think of feminine perfumes as being like sweeter or vanilla, or a little bit more girly, and I think this one is it's feminine, but it's not like vanilla and sweet fruit feminine. So yeah, sorry about the noise or whatnot. There's a lot of wind happening. I'll show you the outside. So yeah, that's Insolence by Guerlain. I will be reaching for this often. Another one is one I've had for a little while, and I really like this. This is an Armaf. It is called Ruby Red, and it's apparently a dupe for Dolce & Gabbana's The One. But I like it a lot better, actually, than Dolce & Gabbana's The One. I find that The One is like a little sharper in the beginning, and this one is a little bit more like softer smelling, not as kind of punchy with the opening. Oh, it's kind of hard to describe. I mean, it does smell like The One. It's got kind of a powdery fruitiness to it, I guess. I think it smells a little bit like if you had Fruity Pebbles in powder form. It sounds weird, but yeah, it's got like a kind of a woody base, and it just has this cozy smell to me. I really enjoy Ruby Red by Armaf, and it's inexpensive. All Armaf brands are, you know, usually less than $40 for 90 ml. I think this was probably between 20 and 30, so it's a good one, Armaf. And I also picked up another Armaf from the same niche line, and that is Pink Coral. I did a little research on this, and it is compared often to Chanel's Coco Noir. I really like the opening of this. I realized there's this thing, to me this smells like a musky honey perfume, but there's no honey in it. There's not a honey note. What I realized is that there's a combination of 6 notes that I think kind of, to me, mimic the smell of honey a bit. And that is like a top note for this, I guess maybe 5 notes, but this one is 6. This is the top note, has like orange and bergamot in it. And then when the middle notes have jasmine and rose, and then in the base, vanilla and patchouli. So the combination of those, to me, kind of smells like honey, and that's what this smells like. It's like a musky honey smell without actually having any honey notes in it. So yeah, I don't know what Coco Noir smells like, so I can't say how close of a dupe it is, but that's what the internet tells me it's a dupe for. I don't think, I mean, the longevity that I read about was a little bit better. People were saying they could get 5 hours out of this, and I got between 3 and 4 usually, but I like the smell of the opening so much, and I think right out of the bottle the juice is really nice. So if you oversprayed it, I think you could probably get to 5 hours, and it's not a bad thing to overspray just because of how nice it is in the opening. That kind of musky honey, and then in the end it dries down and there's a little vetiver, so it becomes more of a woody, that honey-ishness goes away, and it dries down. More of the patchouli and the vanilla and the vetiver come through, which make it pretty dynamic in the dry down and also nice. It just loses kind of that sweetness towards the end and becomes a little bit more earthy, but still really nice. So that is Pink Coral by Armaf, the niche line, also inexpensive, same probably between 20 and 40 depending on where you pick it up. So then I got this new, because of Sarah May's recommendation and actually other reviewers that I've heard, and they said it was hard to find, so of course that makes me like want it even more. I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to get it, all right, I gotta go find it. So I found it on the Fragrance Canada's website, and this is the Madonna's Truth or Dare Naked, which apparently has been discontinued, but it's a really lovely, like woody, like warm woody, benzoin heavy fragrance. So it's got this kind of nice like femininity with the woods, if that makes sense. It's like a very feminine, warm, cozy, woody fragrance with and the benzoin is just kind of an interesting note. That's just, if you like benzoin, you probably love this. So that is Madonna's Truth or Dare Naked. And then other is one I got in the summer that I've been waiting for the weather to turn for, and that is the Agent Provocateur Fatale Intense. And this has just got like a note of chili in it. It's just a really interesting, unique fragrance. It's kind of intoxicating, and it's got this like spicy sweetness. It smells really good. It does smell sexy, but it's kind of like an unusual sexy smell, you know, like not the typical like feminine fruity floral. It's more of like a warm, earthy, spicy, but not super earthy. It's just, it's really nice. I'll put the notes up here just because I'm kind of not describing it super clearly. So check those out. Pretty cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Agent Provocateur, Fatale Intense. And then the last one I'm going to be reaching for a lot is my new Amethyst by Elizabeth and James. So this one is a tobacco and honeysuckle and cedar. Pretty simple composition, but it's also just, ooh, it's yummy. I really like it. It does have this sort of like, you know, the tobacco is probably the prominent note, but it's warmed up by that honeysuckle and then grounded with the cedar, so the longevity is good. It's really good. So yeah, Amethyst by Elizabeth and James being another. And then the last couple that I have are, that I'm reaching for often, are this Amo Ferragamo, which is kind of what people call the orange creamsicle, but I think it's a little spicy orange creamsicle. And I love that this smells really good, like right out of the bottle. So there's no, you know, a lot of perfumes you put them on and it's like a few seconds of just overwhelming alcohol smell or whatever, and this doesn't have that at all, which I appreciate. So yeah, this is Amo Ferragamo by Salvatore Ferragamo, and I'll be putting this one on because it's a really nice fall scent with that spiciness and the orange. And then lastly is one that I'm reaching for a different purpose. Maybe it's my easy dumb reach, and this is Versace Vanitas, the EDT. I tried both and I liked them both, but I really liked the EDT, and the prominent notes are freesia, rose, and white and tea. And if I can't decide what to wear, I almost always put this on, but that's because I just bought the bigger bottle so I can spray it, because it's a light fragrance, so I think it's a little bit hard to apply out of the mini. Like most of my minis, I'm happy with having minis, but this one, as soon as I got it, I was like, oh, I need to get this in a bigger size, because I'm gonna go through it. I like it enough. I know that, you know, I'm gonna go beyond the mini stage. So this one I just put on often because it doesn't last super long, and it smells really good to me, and I'm trying to use up this mini. So yeah, Versace Vanitas, the EDT, will also be in rotation for the fall. So yeah, let me know what you're wearing this fall, and do you have any feedback on these, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope you're doing well, and take care. Bye bye.